Okay, we are live. Good evening and welcome to the Sports Deck podcast. You're here with me, Tara B, and Steve.
Evening.
How you doing, Steve? You all right?
Yes, you? Have you had a good week?
To be fair, it's going to be a bizarre week for me because I've got an exam soon. So this week I'm doing what's called a crammer course online. So it's sort of last minute,
Oh, the
dotting the I's and crossing
lastminute.com.
the T's. Yeah.
Right, okay.
So so it means I get to do it from home, so I don't have to go into to work. But yes, that's what I'm doing for the next. My head's just going to be exam mode for the
Well, I'm
next
watching your head at the
2 weeks.
moment. I've got this red thing running around the back of your head at the moment.
I know that's my pillow thing. Hold on, is that better?
Well, so, yeah, I don't mind.
I tried to get rid of it. I don't know why it won't go, but yeah,
I'm
you
going
can
to
see
put
this.
my blind up a bit more, so I let a little bit. I'm not that anyone wants to see my face, by the way, but if
You'd
I
be
do that,
surprised.
uh,
I said you'd be surprised.
no, I don't have a fan club.
Yeah,
You do.
yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is because there's an awful lot that's been going on in
Has
the
there? What's
football.
happened?
Well, just a few things in the football. So we are going to focus on football this week. Obviously, we had a big basketball show, the last one,
Yeah.
because we had our guest on. But this week is going to be football. We
I
are
don't
going
know
to talk
anything about
about,
football. I know about basketball now and tiddlywinks
well, we
and
can,
synchronised gay diving, but they don't normally get like that on anymore.
but what about, you forgot about Quidditch?
Oh God, that's Harry Potter, isn't it? Yeah. Uh,
Yes, it is. That is
what?
now a
Don't tell me
sport.
that's a sport.
It is a sport. It is a sport. Apparently, you can have lessons in it and everything.
What? Flying up in the sky?
Well, they they use it. They do it on the floor, so you run around with a broomstick between your legs on the ground.
I think a couple of ex-girlfriends of mine had broomsticks between their legs. If I'm perfectly honest with you.
You know, it might be in the Olympics within the next 5 years. Could you imagine?
My ex-wife had a broomstick. Yeah. If you'd have
What
met her,
she
you'd have
used
understood. Oh, she was a
to
witch.
clobber you with.
She was a witch.
Okay, we'll stop there just in case she's
Yeah,
listening
sorry.
or anyone she knows
I've
is
already
listening.
I've already slurred everything on YouTube. I'm going to get hammered if I carry on.
Okay, shall we start with some of the promotions that's been going on?
Now, I knew you were going to ask me this. Some of us have
Oh,
been working 9 days a week, and because I've been working 9 days a week, I've missed a lot of the things. But
oh,
I know Crawley beat Crew,
yes,
and I know Bolton lost.
yeah.
Who did they play? Uh, oh God, who did they play? They lost anyway. I know they lost. Um, because the guy that scored for the team that won, his brother plays for Newcastle,
Okay.
and I can't think of his name. And I can't because honestly, my head lately has been everywhere. I had all the charity stuff last week. I had a couple of really, 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 really late nights. Getting home at 1:30 in the morning and going to work at 7:30 isn't easy. So
Yeah.
a tad on the tired side would be a way I'd describe it. And I haven't had a day off yet since.
Oh. Oh,
Oh,
well,
good.
hopefully you will
That's it.
soon.
Maybe next Sunday. Might have a day off.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
Will you say that? What you're forgetting is my next day off after that's the 29th of June. So,
Oh, that's a
yeah,
long
I've
one.
got a lot of students going to test, so I'm a little bit up against it, which is kind of what you expect in this time of the year. So, yes, I'm kind of glad that due to your situation with your work and exams,
Yeah.
that we've only got one get together in 3 weeks, and then 1st of July when I would have probably had a few drinks on the 20, 28th of June, I should think. So, yeah, I'd like to think that I'm a little bit more relaxed by then. So, yeah. So that's
Okay,
fine.
so I'm just seeing if I can get a
Who did
full
Bolton
list
play
up.
now? It's gone out of my head.
Who did what?
Bolton play.
Uh,
I can look it up because I can't remember.
yeah, so I'm just having a quick look at, so let's start with
Go on.
um
I'm having to look now because I can't remember. I've been so busy. I didn't even know half the games had taken place.
okay, so from National League, we're going to start at the bottom. From National League North into the National League proper, Tamworth go up and Boston United. And from the
Boston
National
used
League,
to be in the league.
I know, I know. And from
Who
the
was their
National,
manager?
I haven't got a clue.
Gaza.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, well, he's done very well then. And from the National League South to the National League proper, you've got Yeovil Town and Braintree.
So Yeovil Town were in the league,
Yep.
and Braintree have never been in it. But well, that's Essex. If you didn't know where that was,
Do you know, I think I've heard of that.
what Braintree?
I thought Boston was in America, but
No, that's Boston, Massachusetts,
yeah, so
not
I didn't know
Boston in
there's,
Lincolnshire.
okay, I didn't know there was a Boston in the UK, so
I know, darling, but
learning.
we
I'm
know we
learning.
know what your geography's like. If this was a geography program, we would have 17 million admirers because they would just be giggling themselves like a next episode of soap or something.
It's a good job my exam's not on geography, isn't it?
Oh God, can you imagine if you had to do geography and the human anatomy? I'll tell you what.
Oh no, anatomies I'm good at. Anatomy I'm good at. Geography,
The anatomy you're good at.
yeah.
Dear, you shouldn't have said that.
I've been in the medical field for the last, what, 30 odd
How
years.
many bones have you got?
Enough to hold me up,
How many should you have?
enough to hold you up.
So you don't know the number.
I don't know the number.
Oh no!
I said I'm good at it.
206.
How many?
206.
Okay. Yeah, I said I'm good at it. I said I'm not like an expert.
Oh, I'm not an expert either, but it's 206. You can check it.
Okay, I shall remember that one for when I do my
Yeah,
next
you
pub
might need it
quiz.
because actually it's a good question. How many bones make up the human body? 206.
Okay, 206. Got it. Right. Next promotions
Yeah.
from the National League into the Football League. So this is a good one. Into Football League 2, you've got Chesterfield and Bromley.
Yeah, I knew about Bromley coming up. Do you know where they are?
Essex? Kent? It's somewhere down south, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on the borders with London, Greater London.
Okay, yeah.
Their local team would be Crystal Palace.
Okay. Okay. And Chesterfield are joining them. So that's
Where's Chesterfield?
up north
Where?
near Manchester. Oh, no.
Derbyshire.
Um, okay. See, I'm learning. I'm
Yeah,
learning.
I know. Wait till we get a difficult one.
Oh, and stop it. And from League Two, who go down to the National League, is Sutton United and Forest Green Rovers.
And
And I've got to
Sutton
say,
is near Bromley.
oh, okay, so it's a bit of a swap then.
That's
I've
where
got
the
to say,
Surrey, Greater London, and Kent borders are all on that. So Surrey and Bromley, Sutton and Bromley are very close.
very close. Okay.
Mm.
Now, Forest Green Rovers, I am a bit surprised about because they have been doing well the last few seasons. So it's a bit of a,
Got no money, and they hired Duncan. I'm not very good at anything, but I can play a bit of football. But I'm only ever good at Everton. So no,
okay. So
they've
he,
gone
so they
down.
go down.
Where's
Yeah.
Forest Green? Do you know where that is?
No, haven't got a clue.
That's on the southwest.
So, okay. What, like
It's
sort of Devon and Cornwall way?
well, more Somerset.
Okay. Okay.
Taunton,
So,
that area.
so they go down, and then we've got going down from League One to League Two is Cheltenham Town, Fleetwood Town, Port Vale, and Carlisle
Well,
United.
this is a good one. So where's Cheltenham Town?
Cheltenham will be near the horse racing
Yeah?
course.
Yeah. Where's that then?
I don't know.
Where's Carlisle?
Oh, that's Wales way.
No, Carlisle's nearly in Scotland.
Oh,
Carlisle,
Wales. Oh, sugar.
Carlisle. If you go about 20 miles north of Carlisle, you're in Gretna Green,
Oh, all right.
right?
Okay.
Gretna Green, Scotland. So, right,
Scotland.
that's over there. Cheltenham's west.
Right.
Who
Okay.
was who were the other two?
The other two were Fleetwood Town and
Where's
Port
Fleetwood
Vale.
Town? That'll catch you out. Where's Fleetwood Town?
I had never even heard of it. No idea.
Fleetwood is on the north-west coast, and it's
Northwest
about
Coast.
sort of between Preston and going south towards Cartmel Racecourse, which is one of the few racecourses I've never been to. So, as you would look at a map, if you know where Manchester is, which I'm not sure you do, but it's
I
northwest.
have driven there a few times.
Yeah,
Thanks to my sat nav, I have gotten there.
and who's the other two who went there?
Fleetwood Town,
No, we got Fleetwood. Who's the other one?
Port Vale,
Port Vale. Where's that?
northeast,
Port
northwest.
Vale is a place called Burslem. It's right next to
Right.
Stoke.
Oh, okay. Never even heard of Burslem, but there you go.
Burslem. That's the area where Port Vale are. I've been
Burslem.
to Port
Okay.
Vale. Yeah,
So
it's all
from
right.
League,
Listen, look, I've been to every single football club in the country, so it's
oh, so
natural.
you know.
Yeah, I've been to them all, and for work though, so it's natural that I'm going to know where they are.
Yeah, yeah. I just need my sat nav, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, we're buying you a sat nav. It's going to come out with we're going to get one of those UR accents, and every time if
Or,
we go southwest, it'll go take the next turn on right, and then if we
yeah.
go up north, it'll be up north. We're turning right next junction, and if we go so if we go up to Scotland, oh, turn over there.
Do what?
You've got to turn over there.
Oh, please
So
stop.
if you go to Liverpool, it'll just say turn around to get your tyres nicked. So
It was like,
that'd be
accents are
Birmingham. That'd be a
fancy, do
Birmingham
they?
accent in Liverpool because you don't want to go to Liverpool. You won't, if you put your car anywhere in Liverpool, they'd take your tyres. They're the biggest
Oh,
bunch of thieves. Oh, terrible. I hope
I'll
I've
walk.
upset all the Liverpool fans.
I think you probably have now.
Or one of them.
Okay, so from League One up to the Championship, you've got Portsmouth, Derby County, and Oxford United.
Okay, where's Portsmouth? You must know that one.
Portsmouth is down south. I've been to
Yeah, on the
Portsmouth.
coast. Okay.
Yeah,
Where's Derby?
that's up north,
Near Chesterfield.
near Chesterfield. I
Yeah, I
was going to
told
say
you know
that, and
that.
then you interrupted me.
And the other one?
What was the other one I said? Oh, Oxford. Oxford. Everyone knows where Oxford is.
Yeah, go on then. Where's that then?
It's about 2 hours from Milton Keynes.
Bloody hell, where are you going, by the M25?
An hour from Milton Keynes.
About 35 minutes.
35 minutes from Milton Keynes.
It's on the way to Cheltenham.
Oh, for God's sake. I'll get it right one day. I
No.
will. I will. And getting relegated from the Championship down to League One is Birmingham
Yeah.
City.
Do you know where they are?
They are about an hour and a half from Milton Keynes.
Yeah, it's no good telling me we're an hour and a half from Milton Keynes. If I'm in a supersonic rocket, I'm in America.
That way.
No, that way.
That way.
It's west. West
Oh,
Midlands.
but it is north.
No, it's not. From where you are, it's pretty well west. It's west north. It's really, really west northwest, I would say, from where you
It's
are.
west west north. What is
No.
that? What does that mean? West west
Well,
north?
you've got north, and
Yes.
as I'm looking, west.
Yes.
So west northwest is sort of there. So I
I
moved
can't
that. So
see your
I moved that
hands.
hand. So west is 9 o'clock as I'm looking. Is 10 o'clock
Yep.
west? Is west northwest?
Oh, okay.
Trust me.
Okay. So, who did I say? Birmingham City, Huddersfield Town, and
Where's
Rotherham.
Huddersfield?
Huddersfield is near Stoke.
No, not unless they
No.
moved it. Huddersfield's Yorkshire,
Yorkshire.
West
Yeah.
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. And Rotherham.
That's not too far from Huddersfield.
So it's
You've got
north,
Rotherham, Sheffield, Barnsley, but Rotherham, Sheffield, Barnsley, Huddersfield. They're all in that similar area. Yeah,
up
they're
north.
all
Got
crap
it.
at football. Anything in Yorkshire is crap at football, including Leeds. And I hope I've upset Leeds as well because I want Southampton to come up, not Leeds.
Oh, you're upsetting a lot of
I
people
don't care who
tonight.
I upset today. I'm in such a good mood. I don't care who I upset.
Okay, so from the Championship up to the Premier League is Leicester City and Ipswich Town.
Where's Leicester?
Leicester is north east.
No,
What do you mean no?
no, it's not. Leicester's East Midlands. There's an airport there called East
Yeah,
Midlands
but it's
Airport.
still north of me.
And you can't count where you are. Bloody hell. People watching this show might be living in blinking, I don't know, France.
Well,
Everything from them's northwest, isn't it, from where they are?
I have to use me as a reference so I
Yeah,
can
but
figure
most
out.
people don't even know that you're in a make believe kitchen in a house.
It's a make-believe study, actually.
Go
Okay,
on.
so Leicester, what did we say? Leicester and Ipswich.
Yeah. Where's Ipswich?
I really don't know.
Really? Have you ever been to Harwich,
No.
Harwich and Parkeston? No. Ever been to Norwich?
Oh, yes. Yeah, been to Norwich.
Norwich is 39 miles from Ipswich, near the coast.
Oh, so that's East Way then.
Yeah, East Anglian Derby is Norwich Ipswich, which isn't much of a derby, 39 miles, but they call it the East Anglian Derby.
Okay. And of course, going down from the Premier League to the Championship
The
is
three teams
Luton
that everyone said
Town.
would go down.
Yeah, Luton Town, Burnley, and Sheffield United.
So you know where Luton Town are because they're down the road from you.
30 minutes.
I've seen you drive, faulty.
A good driver, thank you very much. 30 minutes.
Right, where's Burnley?
Now that's up north.
Where?
That's after Manchester.
Yes, Burnley.
Yes, you see?
Burnley's Lancashire. Yeah, so you've got
Yes,
Greater Manchester and then Lancashire. Burnley.
yes.
Okay.
Burnley.
And who's the most
Burnley.
famous person ever to come out of Burnley?
I don't know any
He's going
Burnley
to get
people.
knighted in the New Year's honours list. And I would know this because the king obviously asked me my opinion regularly, yeah?
I don't know.
Jimmy Anderson. His nickname is the Burnley Lara.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay.
And he's retiring. He's retiring in a few weeks' time, and I hope for his sake he has the most fantastic experience at Lords. They get a nice cloudy day. He takes about 5 or 6 wickets in the first innings, and in the second innings he gets another 4, gets his name on the board again, goes past the late great Shane Warne on Test wickets. That'd be one hell of an achievement. So
Yep. So there we go. That is the uppers and downers in football.
not quite.
No? What do you mean not
Well,
quite?
we haven't said who won the Premier League.
Oh, well, that was obvious, isn't it?
Well, not necessarily. You might have lived on Pluto for the last 3 months.
All right, so Manchester City for the fourth time in a row.
And
Oh,
which team, which team cleverly finished runners up again?
for the second time in a row.
And do you know the Arsenal fans had the gall to blame Spurs for not beating Man City? But I'm going to tell you a little story about this. So this is absolutely true.
No, Arsenal lost it when they didn't beat Aston Villa.
There's more to it than that because last week when Spurs played Manchester City, the first goal Man City scored actually had an offside in the build-up before the build-up, if that makes sense. And VAR didn't go back that far. And had it been 0-0 with, instead of 9 minutes of injury time, because they were wasting time, Man City. Now, they wouldn't have been wasting time if it had been 0-0 after 80 minutes. They'd have been hurrying up. So there wouldn't have been
Mm.
10 minutes. There may have only been 5. And it's a different thing when you're stressed out playing football. So they may never have got to the penalty. You don't know that. Having said that, I read a very funny article which did make me roar this morning because as much as I think, and I'm being really fair now, I actually thought Arsenal's football was really good this season. And I did say to you, and I've said it to other people, I thought that they played really, really well in a lot of the games where they really demoralised teams quickly.
Yeah.
And I suppose, you know, you would argue they've been a bit unlucky. I would give you that. I would also say, and not just because I'm a Spurs fan, I'm just saying it because it's the truth. I do think Arsenal played very well. Um, am I surprised that they got as close to Man City as they did? I am, by the way Arsenal were at the end of November, December, where they had a period where they were sort of a bit wobbly.
Yeah.
They certainly came back with a bang in 2024. I don't know about the points between them and Arsenal. I reckon it must be very close between how many points they both got since the 1st of January, them and Man City. But earlier over the week, we've had all these people saying, oh, I'm going to support Spurs because we need them to beat them and everything. And then they were laughing, saying, oh, typical Spurs, narrow-minded team, celebrating the fact that Man City scored a second goal. Let's get something straight here. When Man City were a goal up, it was going to be difficult for Spurs to win the game. When they were 2-0 up with a penalty in the 5th minute of injury time, the game was over. So
Yeah.
the fact that our biggest rivals now have not got the Premier League in their hands, it's up to Man City how they do. Of course, we're going to laugh at it, and I don't have a problem with that because the game was over. Having said that, I posted the most wonderful post on Facebook today, which should remind everybody, and I hope it does remind everybody, why we are what we are. And I titled it Bloody Arsenal. I can't believe Arsenal gave 6 points to Aston Villa and sacrificed their Premier League title just as Spurs miss out on the top 4 for such a small club mentality. So I'm giving them back what they gave me. Now, I'm right because Arsenal lost both games to Villa. And that was the key game. And I said it at the time because had Arsenal drawn with Villa, just saying, Spurs would have overtaken Villa because I think we would have had there went a goal difference or 2 goals difference, so we would have probably gone for it a bit more yesterday.
Mm.
But Villa were absolutely annihilated yesterday, and Spurs have finished, I think, 2 goals different. So you've got to take a goal off that if Arsenal had scored, and Villa hadn't. So you can see clearly we could have. Hello, where have you gone?
I'm here. Steve, you've frozen. Oh, we've lost Steve. I do apologise. Oh, he's back. He's back. Why were you? You disappeared. You went frozen and then you
No,
went.
you disappeared. I just said it. Tara's disappeared. She might have gone and hung herself. I hope not.
No, because
Anyway,
I had to add you back.
that's definitely your end. I was sitting here looking at myself. You disappeared. You went black.
Sitting there looking at yourself.
I've got to tell you something. You did an Amy Winehouse there.
What?
You went completely black. She went back to black, but you went. You You just went to a black screen.
No, honestly, it was you. You disappeared. You went off the screen because I've just had to add you back.
Ah, well, it's obviously that system of yours, using
Oi,
this
oi, oi.
stolen website that you've nicked or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm going
Oi,
to tell the
oi,
police.
oi. You've
Anyway,
already told
Arsenal
them.
should
There
have
you
won
go.
yesterday. That game was a joke. Arsenal didn't deserve to win yesterday. That was a handball.
Oh, what the
In today's football
uh,
this season, that is a handball. Don't get me wrong. I would not give it as a handball as long as I go, oh, I'll wear it is.
yeah.
The handball law in this year's football is farcical to say the least.
Well, the
When
problem
you've
is
got
that
players,
it's not
no,
consistent.
no, of course not. I honestly mean this. I do not think there is one referee, one manager, or one player that has a clue at the moment what handball is. So obviously, if you catch the ball, we all know that's handball. And if you put your hand up and bash it away, we all know that's handball. That's fine. But a guy makes a tackle, the ball hits him on the knuckles on the way out of play. That's not handball. A bloke shoots the ball at him and he's right here and he protects his face. All right, you might argue he should wear it, but the simple fact of the matter is, you know, that's a natural reaction. You protect
Yeah,
your face. So
yeah.
I think there's. I hope. I mean, obviously, I know you want to discuss VAR on a different occasion, but I think that for the league to be where it is and the going forward, we all want clarity. We want clarity for offside, not in 30, 40 seconds, in 5 seconds. It's obvious if it is or not with the AI that's coming in. We don't want to go backwards and forwards. So, well, he's had 17 looks at it. It might have clipped his fingernail. That's not managing a game of football. If it's, for me, handball needs to be blatant. So it's either you've made yourself bigger and it's hit you, in which case I think you're at fault. It's handball if you punch it away or put your arm above your head because that's not where your arm should be. If it then hits it, I think that's fair to give handball. But when you've got your arms here, and I know you can't see it from, but I'll try and do it. So if your arms are here like this and it hits you, that's not handball. If they're behind your back like this, you're not defending properly. If they're down here, that's a normal place for your hands to be. That's not handball. I give it if it's out here. So they've got to sort of make it a bit more logical because it's too ridiculous.
And the
You know,
problem is if the officials can't even get it right, how as we as
fans.
spectators
Well,
be able
that's
to
right.
determine
I
it?
agree. But there's another thing. I think the people who run VAR, they mustn't be referees.
Mm,
What you want are operators who are actually technical operators who deal with those sort of things. But in the hub where they are, there is a referee who knows the laws and an assistant referee who knows the laws because you need a backup just in
mm.
case. Yeah. But the operators should not be referees. They need to be people like me, Joe Bloggs. I don't care who's the referee. I don't care who's this. I don't owe him a living. Nothing. If I've seen it, this is wrong. Hello, ref. You need to go and look at that. That's it. Not, well, we've got to go this and I've got to move the line. Hold on a minute. The line's gone all, oh, shit. I've just dropped my cup of tea all over everything. Oh, no. You didn't know. It's not about looking after your mate. It's about that's what's right in law. But I'm an operator. I work with these mechanics. I work with these digital things. I'm the one that understands it. You're the numpty that does the refereeing. It's like asking a dentist to be a mechanic. He might know what to use with a drill, but he's not used to fixing a car. And
I've
what
got
they've got, you know,
I've got no problem with that. I would agree with that as long as they also know the laws of the game. They have to know the laws of the game
no,
inside and
they
out.
don't. They don't because the operators who operate it are not having to do the laws of the game. The operator goes right. I'm lining up these two players for offside. That's how it is. I've done the line. Offside. And then he looks at the referee. The referee says, yes, that's offside. Press the button. Offside. Job done. Yep. Right. Hold on a
Mhm.
minute. I don't need to know the laws of the game for VAR because there are different laws within VAR. That's the referee's job. But when the referee doesn't know the laws of the game, we had this with the Spurs Liverpool game when they were given a goal that was taken off and they scored a legitimate goal. Everyone said, "Oh, they've restarted. You can't carry on. You can't." Yes, you can. VAR clearly says if there is a misunderstanding about what decision has been given, you can stop the game. It says it clearly in VAR rules and within the law. So none of the referees knew it. Whose fault's that?
Wow.
Well, you could have had me doing the operating, and I might have said, "Isn't there something in VAR about if there's a miscommunication?"
Yeah.
And then you'd have had one of them saying, hold the game, ref, stop the game." And then the referee stops the game and he'd go, "What the am I stopping the game for now?" And then you go, "We've had a miscommunication. We said there was a goal. You've played on. According to the VAR rules, you can stop the game, go back and award a goal." Now, I know it's against my team, and I accept that we've had dreadful decisions with Liverpool over the years. The handball in the penalty area when it wasn't a penalty against them in the Champions League final, utterly ridiculous. It hit the geese on the shoulder first.
Mm.
So I don't sympathise with Liverpool at all. But two wrongs don't make a right. And as a refereeing only point, that was wrong. Liverpool still could have had the goal awarded if the referee had stopped the game.
Yeah.
Can't do anything about it when it's got to half time. No. But he could have stopped the game. So that was wrong. And that would not be the guy doing the operating of the machinery. That's the referee who doesn't know the laws of the game. So it's not the operator's fault. And that's what we have to do. We have to put operators who operate and laws of the game people do laws of the game. When you've got a bloke who might be brilliant with the laws of the game but can't pick his nose like with me with my computer work, yeah, you don't use people like me to fix your computer. What's the point? As I said, it's like taking the dentist to go and fix your car. He knows how to use a drill and he might know how to blow your tyres up, but he doesn't know how to fix an engine.
Yeah.
And you won't use a mechanic who's very good with the drill, putting a new blooming filling in, would you?
Heck no.
So no, so use the right people for the job. That's what's
Okay.
affected people.
So you'd have a
We'll deal with that
technician.
more next. Yeah, we'll deal with that more.
Yeah. So you'd have a technician and then the referees who deal with the law.
I'd have
And
two
they will then
technicians because you
confer.
need to have you need two technicians there because if one's ill, unwell, trips up on his way back up the stairs at half time because he's gone down for a cup of tea. You need a spare technician there. You need two referees, a referee and an assistant referee. So, and they don't have to do one game.
Mm.
On a Sunday, you say to whichever referee's the spare wheel that week, right, mate, you've got two games on that Saturday or two games on the Sunday. Well, you think that they can't watch two games of football? I know
No,
I
of
can
course
watch
they
two
can.
games one after the other, so why can't they?
Yeah, of course they can.
Right. So, and the VAR operators, if you've got technicians in there, you might say, right, we've got four technicians on this Saturday. We've got four technicians on Sunday. Of course, on Sunday you've got a lot more because the games are all shown at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you look at the fixture list and you think, oh, Arsenal playing Spurs at 12:30, because North London derbies at lunchtime, keeps the alcohol out of the game. Yeah. And then you've got 3 o'clock. Chelsea are playing against Bournemouth, for example, right? And then you've got a game at 5:30, and you've got Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa, and a 7:30 game or 8 o'clock games, Manchester United against Liverpool. So you've got people in that hut for four games, but there were other Saturday afternoon games going on, so you might have had another 3 or 4 games that afternoon. There's feedback coming through
Feedback for what?
when I just spoke to you.
Oh, seems to be okay my end.
I can hear me in your end.
Can you?
Sometimes.
What, even now?
No, you pressed some knob.
No, you're not in the same room. I couldn't. I don't know what it is. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh, okay. Um,
Anyway, so what else did you want to know about the football?
well, Well, I mean, we're going to do it. We have got a couple of guests lined up for the next couple of months. So
I know.
um, we are going to have a
Hopefully,
big,
hopefully. You
hopefully.
never know,
So
yeah?
we're going to have a big VAR discussion when we have one of our guests on, and hopefully they will enlighten us.
Can I just tell you that I've just had a quick look at the cricket score here. This is very important because my team are Middlesex, right? And they're playing at Glamorgan, and so I'm not quite sure what happened when I came on air, but they managed to lose a few wickets rather quickly. And we've gone from a comfortable 113 for two to 161 for eight. It's now thankfully 209 for eight. We need 4 runs to win. We're making hard work of this, but we need 4 runs to win. So, and we've got about 5 overs left to win it in. So,
Wow.
fingers crossed we win that, which is a good game of cricket. You want an entertaining game. And I've diverted off course because of cricket, yeah.
That's okay.
Right. So, what else should I say about football?
So we're going to talk about the Champions League
Yeah.
because we've got a new contender entering into the Champions League for next season.
Have we?
Aston Villa.
Yeah. Not a prayer.
I know that they'll very, very much be an outsider, but I mean, you've got to give them the dues. To get Champions League place is a heck of an achievement for them. But given the other teams from the rest of Europe that are going to be in there, I cannot see them doing too well,
I don't think they've got an earthly. First, the reason is
unfortunately.
this. So they finished 2 points ahead of us. People would argue that they deserve their place because they finished fourth. The league table doesn't lie. I will tell you that Spurs had half their team ripped out for 10, 12 games when we played Chelsea. And we finished 2 points behind when we couldn't win a game with half a team missing. And that went on for about 2 months. So, in the grand scheme of things, I reckon we probably lost about 12 points. Villa, we absolutely trashed them at home. In fact, that was the heaviest defeat of the season. They were bang average, and we were very good that day. Having said that, they had a period where they kept winning games at home. They were really, really good at home. But like most teams, without a big squad, you're going to struggle. They struggled at the end of the season. They got over the line against Arsenal with a very good disciplined performance, but they should have been flattened by Arsenal well before that.
Mm.
And they grew in confidence once they scored, obviously. Um, have to say, do I think they got an earthly getting out the group? I don't care what group they're in. They're going to be there are 5 German sides in it and 5 Italian sides in it. So looking at the way it is, they're guaranteed to get one of each, basically one of each.
Yeah.
If they're really unlucky, the way the draw will go, they could end up. I mean, could end up with Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and AC Milan. I think it could be AC Milan in the same group. So, how do you think they're going to do in that group?
Not too well
Not
at
too
all.
well.
No,
Okay.
I think they'll probably finish bottom of the group.
No, because they got no, because no, they won't finish bottom because they got 4 groups of 9 now. Yeah. So Milan finished second.
Ah, okay. 4 groups of
Milan
9.
finished second in Italy,
Yeah.
but the fifth place side. I'm just checking it down now. So the fifth place side will probably be Atalanta or Juventus, right? The surprise package in that lot's Bologna,
Yeah.
right? So Inter, because they're group winners, right? They've got 4 groups of 9. So what happens instead of what it used to be? So the 4 groups of 9 are split. The top 4 seeds are the winners, whoever that will be out of Real Madrid and Dortmund. Then you've got the top leagues position-wise. So there's no English representative this time. So let's say Real Madrid win, which is the most likely outcome. Then you've got Leverkusen, who never lost a game this season because they're representing Germany as the top team. And then you've got the top team in Italy, which will be Inter.
Mm.
And then you've got the best team left out of either France or it'd be France or England. It'd be France, I should imagine. PSG go in front of Man City.
Yeah.
So you get those four. Then you get the next four, which is going to be Man City. So this is the thing. You could get Real Madrid, Man City. No, they can't get Real Madrid and Man City. You could get Real Madrid and, as I said, Bayern Munich. And technically, you could get Leverkusen, and they could be in the same group as Aston Villa. So they're not going to get a lot of points from those 6 games, are they? Well, they don't play. They only play 3 games. They play 4 at home, 4 away now. So if you're unlucky, you get all those guys away. That's not very nice. And you've got to finish in the top 4 to qualify. And 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, they just get kicked out.
Blimey.
They don't get.
So they don't go to the Europa League?
No.
Or none of them go. Oh, okay.
No. So next year's Middlesex won. They don't get. They don't get. They don't go to the Europa League. But you see, this year's Europa League that's coming up. So bearing in mind that the top 5 from Italy and Germany are going to be in the Champions League, the top 5 sides. Yeah, that's 10. You've got 4 from Spain. So Italy, you've got Inter, Milan, Bologna, Juventus, and Atalanta. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. In Bundesliga, you're going to have 5 teams. So Bundesliga, you're going to have Leverkusen, Stuttgart, Bayern, Leipzig, and Dortmund. And Dortmund are in the final of the Champions League anyway. So the 6th place team in Germany was Eintracht Frankfurt with 47 points.
Okay.
Right. The 6th place team in England was Chelsea with 63 points.
Right.
Okay. So I know they're 4 games more, but that's 16 points. That's a huge gap between Chelsea, who finished behind Spurs, and Frankfurt, who are the best team in Germany in the Europa. Best team in Serie A, who's going to finish, is Roma. Almost guaranteed Roma will be in the Europa. Right. Then you've got La Liga. So the team who's 5th in La Liga is my lot. I'm sure we're 5th. I don't think I got it wrong. So I don't think it's going to change. No. So Bilbao are going to finish 5th, definitely. So their point total, Bilbao, is 65. They've got 1 game left. So very similar to Spurs, right? Okay. Then you've got the French League, which is regarded as the next one on the list, which is, what do they call it? Oh, God. That's been at my head.
What are you talking about?
The title of the French League. Oh, God.
Oh, that's, oh, God.
Liga. Right, so you've got PSG, who won it. They're going to be in there with Monaco and Brest and probably Lille, right? And Lille as 4th place team. And Nice, who finished with 55 points, and Lyon are going to be in the Europa League. So the chances of Spurs getting all of those are very, very unlikely. So they're the best teams. You've got Eredivisie and you've got all the other stuff. So the Europa League is really for teams on the 2nd level of football now, which is what it used to be hundreds of years ago when Spurs won it twice at their home ground. The only team ever to do that. Never be done again. Unless they pick Tottenham as the Europa League final next year, that would be hilarious.
But then we've got the FA Cup final between Chelsea and Man United, and
Man City
that,
and Man United.
sorry, Man City and Man United, and that will decide whether Chelsea gets a spot in Europe, isn't it?
No, Chelsea are in Europe. If Man City win the FA Cup,
Yeah.
Newcastle go in the conference. If Man United win the FA Cup, Chelsea go in the conference.
Okay. 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 It's so
So,
complicated.
not really. It's quite simple because you don't get anywhere now for winning the League Cup.
Yeah, that's true.
But you shouldn't. We're the only country with 2 cups, yeah.
Yeah.
And now because of the Champions League, and I'll try to explain this to someone. So someone like Aston Villa who haven't got a big squad, they're going to play 8 Champions League matches, which will bring them in a vast sum of money, even if they lose them all, yeah. However, next season starts mid-August. The Champions League format starts in September. We've got 2 internationals at the start of September, and then we've got them at the end of October. So 4 of the weeks where they would have liked to have had a match, they can't have a match midweek. There are 15 weeks between the start of September and the 10th of December. It's 16 weeks really. But 4 of them are international weeks. 8 are Champions League weeks. 2 at least are League Cup weeks. That's 14, yeah? There's 1 that's a league week, that's 15. So they're playing basically every week, twice a week. Now, when you're not used to playing every week, twice a week, it's all right saying, well, last season they played in the Europa, they were in the conference or the Europa League, but they were never challenging for the top 3. You have to be fair about that. It was always 4th, 5th, 6th sort of thing. They had a decent run, yes. Very good at home, yes. But they weren't anywhere in the cup competitions either. So you look at that, and I think the clubs in the Champions League will just basically say, to hell with the League Cup, we're not interested.
Mm.
And again, as a Spurs fan, I would want Ange to go, right, we're putting a proper team out now because we want to try and win it. And actually go for it and try and win it. And if we do well in the Europa League, great. If we don't, fine. Win something, anything. It just gets the monkey off your back, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
I
makes sense.
genuinely think next season. I'll be honest with you. I think next season the top 4 will be Man City, Arsenal, Spurs, and Chelsea.
So if you were Aston Villa's manager, what would you focus on, the league or Champions League? Because like you said, they've got such a small squad and they're going to be playing a heck of a lot of games
All
next
they got to do
season.
is have a couple of injuries like we had, and that's the
Exactly.
difference. When Man City lose a couple of players, someone else comes in who's really, really good level. Yeah,
Mm.
and therein's the difference. You know, the top 3 sides. It's not a surprise to me that the top 3 sides have the longest serving managers. You know, Arnie
Consistency.
Slot, who could have been the Spurs manager, because obviously that was on the cards at one point last year. He may be very good, and he might be able to carry on. But you know, Klopp was at Liverpool for nigh on 9 years, yeah, and in that time he's given Liverpool a massive lift, no question. But someone else comes in, it doesn't normally follow on. You know, Wenger was at Arsenal once he stopped, and he was in decline the last 2 years. They struggled for a few years after that. Fair enough. Manchester United, since Ferguson stopped, they've been struggling ever since. Yes, they won a couple of things, but they have been struggling. There's not
Mm.
there's not the same sort of clout with Man United anymore. And the stadium's falling to bits, as you saw last week when it rained, yeah?
Oh gosh, yeah, that was ridiculous.
Well, apparently, I've heard on the grapevine that every contract that Man United do this summer, they've offered the player a pair of wellies as well.
What's yeah, they probably need it if they don't get it sorted. My
I
God.
think if you get a season ticket at Old Trafford, you should come get wellies and a raincoat, yeah.
Yeah, and one of
I
those,
mean,
that stuff they
yeah,
put on when it's
I've got to be
raining.
honest, right? I mean, Manchester's renowned for being wet, but, when a football stadium is literally falling to bits, it's a Kazi Man United, yeah? I'm not going to, if anyone thinks it isn't, it's not the theatre of dreams, it's the theatre of screams. It's nothing. People used to be scared of going there. I don't think they are anymore.
You know. No,
You
no,
know,
definitely not.
exactly. And I mean, they're going to bulldoze it. I think that's pretty obvious. They're going to turn it round because they got a railway line as well there. Chelsea doing the same thing. They're gonna knock their stadium down. It's a bit of a Kazi as well. Chelsea. You've got to be
Mm,
honest. I mean, if you even the Chelsea fans, you can tell, well, it's great. It's not. It's got a 40,000 capacity. You know, they've been running that company, and it is a company. They've been running that company on immoral money. We all know that. So you know,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, you get your comeuppance in life when it comes to cheating and trying to pull the shortest way around a corner. Man City are going to be in trouble once their allegations are sort of proven.
So when
Chelsea
it
might
comes
be
to
on
that,
the.
how long is it going to take for them to get a decision made?
Well, I think they'll get a decision in the next 6 months.
Okay.
The UEFA will come up with this is what we're doing you for, and then Man City will argue it, and UEFA say fair enough, you've got time, we'll give you X amount of time to do it in,
So do you think
and
they could end up with a points deduction or just a hefty fine?
I think they'll get put in the Championship.
So, I mean, if they wait 6 months, bearing in mind the new football season will have started,
Yeah, they'll
Champions
be.
League would have
Yeah,
started.
but they can defend the allegations. So let's say UEFA say, right, we've had to look at 115 charges. We found you guilty on 75. If they found them guilty on one, what do you do? Oh, we want 10 million fine. Here, here's 10 million. We don't give a shit. If you get found 75 out of 115 are guilty, there is no way you're getting off 75 charges. It's not possible.
Mm.
So you might get away with a few, and you might argue, well, this one wasn't because of this, right? And they might go, you know what? They're only minor. We don't really care. There's going to be some that are absolutely nailing their nuts to the wall, and there's no ifs and buts about it. So when it's because they've got to go through them methodically, and there are a lot, and then obviously one might have happened in 2018 that relates to something that was in 2016 that happened in 2015. So you've got to allow them time to sort of make sure that they've done their work correctly. But UEFA don't take people to court, not with that many charges, and they're backed by trillions of pounds. We're not
So
talking
how will
about a
it
few quid
work?
here. Manchester City.
So how's it
How do
going
you
to
mean?
work if we're halfway uh into the league, into the new season, we're halfway into the Champions League, and then Man City get a points deduction, which means they shouldn't have
They're not
been
going to get a
in.
points deduction. They won't
They're
get a
not.
points deduction.
Okay.
They'll get relegated.
So then what happens to the season that's already started in the Champions League
No,
that's
at
already
the end of the
started?
season, they'll be relegated.
Oh, they'll wait to the end of the season.
It doesn't matter where they were. So, yeah, well, let's say it goes out in November, and the UEFA turn around at the end of October and say, right, we've gone through the records. Manchester City are guilty of 89 charges out of the 115. So Manchester City have got their lawyers ready, obviously. They're obviously working now. They're not waiting for 6 months to when they hear something's happening.
No,
They're going to be
obviously.
told, well, we've got issues here. Yeah, of course, they've been holding things up. We all know that. But Pep Guardiola yesterday, well, I'll be here next year, but I don't know about, I'm not sure how much longer. Well, he's pretty obvious. It's obvious to me. It's obvious to the people I've spoken to. And it will come to a head, I'm sure, next season. Manchester City are in trouble, and I think everybody knows it. And let's say they're found guilty of even 20 charges. They're not going to get off them all. You're not going to be able to strip them of their titles, because you've got to remember, if you do that, you've got all the people who say, well, if they hadn't have won that league because they did it in the wrong time, we finished fifth. We would have been fourth. We should have been in the Champions League. We haven't got the money for that. Then the other team says, well, if they hadn't have been in the FA Cup, we would have won the FA Cup because we lost to them in the final, or we lost the League Cup final to them. So, no, the easiest way is you give them £1 billion fine. Well, realistic fine. £200 million fine. You dump them in the Championship for a year and you ban them from trading for 5 years on buying and selling players. That's what you do. Now, when you do that, you buy it from buying players, not selling. They can't buy. Now, all of a sudden, players at their club start aging and they have to get rid of. They can't do anything. They can sell them, but they can't buy. So over the course of the season, they'll win the league. Of course they'll win the league. They'll come back in the Premier League, but they can't buy players. That's the key problem for them. You can't buy. You can only promote from the youth. What's Man City going to be like 2 years down the line? That's 3 more years.
Do you think the penalty is going to be that harsh?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think it's going to be that harsh?
What happened to Juventus? Why won't happen? It's bribery. If you fiddle money, it's basically bribery, isn't it? It's corruption, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like me saying to you, you offered me £100 to come on the show tonight, right? But because you know I'm not very happy with £100, you offer me £100. But the guest we got coming on in 2 weeks' time, you tell him, I only pay 60 quid. But you're giving me 100, but you give me 40 quid under the table, sort of thing. Let's say like that. That's corruption.
Yeah.
Bribery, isn't it? So, look, I don't know the exact ins and outs, but when somebody says, I'm planning a case against you, I've got 115 reasons to charge you, that's not easy to come back from. One charge, in your business, if you've got one person, one charge, you've got to make it stick. You only got one charge, yeah? Bloke says, well, I've killed 12 people. And you go, well, if you've killed 12 people, where are the bodies? And you go, well, there are. And they go and do all the, checks and everything. Yeah, your fingerprints, DNA's on all of them. You don't go, well, I only killed one. So, with that many charges, they are, that...
They're going to have enough to stick.
Yes, I think the saying would be up shit creek without a paddle would probably be what I would say. That's where they are.
Oh.
So Man City, I'm absolutely certain they'll be in the Premier League next year, and I'd be shocked if they're in the Premier League the year after. I can't see it the year after. I just can't. See it. So,
well, I really wish they'd hurry up and come to a decision, because it's been going on so long.
Yeah, which tells you something, doesn't it? What does it tell you?
That there is a lot to deal with, a lot to get through.
A lot to deal with, a lot to digest, and probably more importantly, it's very severe. So they want to make sure that they're talking from the highest point with their facts correct and in order, not just, well, you've done this. Joe blogs everyone on the street, well, about time they deal with Man City. Once they've been dealt with by UEFA, then it's up to the Premier League to step in. So my mates have said to me, well, they dealt with Everton very quickly. They dealt with Nottingham Forest very quickly. Yeah, it's just Premier League. It's easy.
Yeah.
But if you've done one thing wrong and you get a 10-point deduction like Everton got, which was reduced to 6, or you've done something wrong and Forest were very, very helpful, got their 3-4 point deduction, and you were very helpful. But if you've got 20 things, with the Premier League have probably got on Man City, then what are you going to get for a deduction? So if UEFA will say, right, we want £150 million fine, you're banned from Europe for 5 years, and we suggest, we won't allow you to trade or play in Europe for 5 years. Now, the Premier League get, bloody hell, that's one hell of a charge against them. So now the Premier League looks at their issues and thinks, right, well, we've got them on this, and this, and this. So we can't give them a 30 point, 10 point, 9.4 points, 67 point deduction. We go, right, you're relegated for a season in the Championship, and we won't allow you to trade and buy players either. Man City can cry as much as they like. If you break the law, like, you know that. If you do the crime, you do the
Gotta
time.
do the time.
As
Yeah.
simple as that.
But then there'll be
So,
the whole appeal process, right? Where they're gonna
yes, but they can't appeal indefinitely for a year and year and year, because the Premier League has the right to say you are entitled to appeal. Absolutely. Anybody's got the right. That's the Human Rights Court of Justice, yeah? You have 28 days to appeal. And your appeal will be heard, and a decision will be made 28 days after that. And we will come to a decision which is final, whether you like it or not, boom. And it'll be by the 20th of April or the 25th of April. And we could be almost 2 years down the line, and Man City could be in the hunt to win the league behind Spurs, obviously, by them. And they get told, well, we don't care what you do, you're relegated at the end of the season, and they will be. And the team who's second or third from bottom is now planning on, wow, we're going to survive.
mm,
So, and it will happen. And it happens, it's happened to Juventus. How many teams do you think have been relegated in the last 50 years from their various leagues into the league below?
are you talking about in the Premiership or in
No,
general
in
across the board?
worldwide football.
Uh, well, we know if Juventus has been relegated twice for
Right,
corruption on two
absolutely. But
occasions.
Italy is corrupt anyway. So
Yeah.
has Man City been corrupt here?
Yes. As far as we
Allegedly.
know, and far
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
allegedly, yeah. I'm gonna probably say what maybe 3 teams have been,
What about
and
Rangers?
Juventus twice.
Rangers?
Oh, were they relegated?
They went from the Premier League to the third division.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so there you've got Juventus, you've got Rangers. Who else?
I'm just putting it in at the moment. Okay. Biggest scandals in football history, right? Italian clubs. Juventus, Fiorentina, and Lazio all got relegated to Serie B um, in 2006. Juventus got relegated again. I'm looking at the finance scandal. Man City. Just waiting for that to catch up. Will bring about turmoil. Manchester City's problem is they are accused of a vast welter of breaches of different rules, including providing inaccurate financial information, improper or unrecorded pay.
Okay.
That's corruption. To payments to the manager, players, breaching UEFA financial regulations, breaching profitability and sustainability regulations, and about most damning of all, a vast array of claims to fail to cooperate with the Premier League in relation to the investigation, which I already told you.
Yeah.
They may squeeze their way out of one or two of these, but if they got away with them all, they'd make the league look incompetent. So, listen, I don't think they've misrepresented their accounts. I don't think there's any doubt about it. If you've it's like me saying to you, I tell the tax man I've earned 25 grand a year for the last 10 years when I've been putting away, when I've been putting in 75,000. He comes down, he says, Mr. Feigl, we're having a look at you. We don't seem to think your accounts are quite right. And then I don't give him any paperwork because I'm my own accountant, yeah? That's what Man City are doing. So what is that? It's corrupt. It's
Yeah.
corruption. Me as an individual, they go, right, we're giving you 100 grand fine. You owe us 100 grand. Can you pay? No, we're putting you in prison. Okay. Manchester City, can you pay? Yes. We want 100 million. That's all right. Here's 100 million. No problem. But that's not a fine. That's just a fine. That's no big deal to them, 100 million. They go, oh,
No,
100
that's
million. We like buy a player for a
exactly
year. Oh, dear.
what I mean. Whatever
But
the
put them in the
punishment
championship.
is, it has to be.
Right.
It,
The punishment's got to fit the crime. So if teams across Italy have been relegated because of it, then why won't Manchester City get relegated? That's the only option. So they'll get a fine. They'll get banned from Europe by the UEFA lot. Absolutely no question. There's no. I don't. They could get a 10-year ban from Europe, Man City.
Blimey, that would be
It could be
massive.
as bad as that. Can you imagine? Well, we had 5 years because of the Scouse bastards in 1985. So why is it possible that Man City can't do it? What, you don't think if you've corrupted your not just your league, but the whole of Europe, you don't think you're going to get a massive fine and a massive ban? Come
Mm.
on. There is absolutely no way Man City are getting out of this. Absolutely zero chance of them getting out of this. You know,
Well,
when
I just hope
someone grabs you by the nuts and squeezes, that's what UEFA are going to be doing in the next couple of months. And I guarantee you that the Manchester City people who run the company there, because they now have to give everything in, and I heard on good authority that they were failing to give paperwork in over this case last year. Absolutely, 100%. They were chucking papers all away and burning them and all sorts.
blimey.
So there was honestly, I cannot see anything else other than a ban from Europe, and I would expect it to be 5 years. It might get reduced to 3, but I can't see the Premier League not relegating them into the Championship, because they'll give them, if they say, well, all right, we won't relegate, we're giving you an 80-point deduction, and they'll appeal it. Okay, we give you 79 then. I don't care how good Man City are, they're going down.
I just want them to get to a decision because it's just
Well, they
it's
will do,
ridiculous.
but I think it might happen by about March or April of next year.
Okay,
And if it
okay.
does, so if they get bombed out the league, it doesn't really matter where they finish. Arsenal will be trying to get better, but won't. Liverpool will get worse. Chelsea might do a bit better, but Spurs will pick up 20 points and win the league. So it's all taken care of. I already dealt with it.
That would be a good one, wouldn't it?
Best thing that can happen next season is Spurs win 28 games and draw 10. They win the Europa League and they win the League Cup, and they leave the FA Cup for someone else because most people can't be bothered with the FA Cup anymore. And they
Mm.
go and do that, have a lovely little treble, and that's what you want. Everyone else will just have to sit there and watch.
Well, you never know. You never know. It might happen.
Listen, I've lived 62 years very shortly, and I've never seen Spurs win the league, yeah? So I'd like to see that before I die.
Well, you're not going to be dying anytime soon, so don't get all
Well, I
morbid
hope
on
not, but I mean, I've got students that try and kill me most weeks.
me. Okay, so shall we move on to oh my God, I've gone completely blank.
You've got stuck.
Huh?
Say that again.
I said I've gone completely
You're
blank.
gone. I can see you.
No, I mean my mind's gone
No, but
blank.
I didn't even hear what you said.
I said, shall we move on
Oh,
to, and then I went, can't remember. What was I going to
you
say?
can't remember what you want to move on to.
Oh, I was going to
What did you
say
want to move on
about
to?
Jurgen Klopp leaving Liverpool.
Yeah,
He's done his time, obviously. He's had his reasons for leaving.
he's
And
tired.
he's tired, very tired.
He's
And
tired. He's worn out. Yeah,
yeah, and he wants to spend more time with his family. We all get that. And of
yep.
course, Liverpool have announced they've got what's his face coming in.
What's his face?
Oh, I can't pronounce his name.
What, Arnie Slot?
Slot. Is it Slot? Is that how you pronounce
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
A Slot.
Slot. We'll just call him Arnie for now, shall we? So
Yeah.
we've got him coming in, and it's going to be a good transition period for Liverpool. What do you think they're going to need to do to keep them in the running for next season? Thinking about players they've got now, like Salah, he hasn't had the greatest of seasons. He's done
No,
all right.
I think, look, I think it's a bit of a different one for me to ask because obviously I'm not really Liverpool based, but I would assume, I could be wrong, but I would assume that Arnie Slot's going to think, right, Klopp was very successful. I don't really want to change too much around in the first year, but I need to bring in one or two people of my own because I need my own ideas going here. I do agree with you that Salah hasn't looked particularly the same. Do I think he's if he was available, would I like him at Spurs? I can't stand the guy personally, but as a footballer, he's a very good footballer. Would he
Mm,
score goals? Yeah. If he came on the market, where would he go? There's only really one place I think he can go, and that's out to a warmer climate in the Middle East. He's
really?
Egyptian. Yeah.
Or America?
No.
You don't think?
Saudi.
Okay, okay.
That Saudi's the Middle East. America's in the West.
No, I know that, but players are going to America nowadays, isn't it?
Why would he go to America?
The
He's
money,
31, 32.
the money.
Yeah, but you go and he'd get more than that if he went to Saudi Arabia.
Probably.
So no, definitely. I don't think there's any doubt that he'd get the money there. So Liverpool might decide got to change things around. I mean,
Do you think I'm going to call him Arnie. Do you think Arnie is going to want to have a big shake-up?
I don't believe any manager would go to a football club knowingly if he didn't want to put his own mark on the team.
Mm,
Because you can turn around and say to me, and I'm trying to be as open minded here as I can. Yeah, you could turn around and say to me, over the course of the last 50 years, Liverpool have had some fantastic managers. Whether you like Liverpool or not, you cannot detract from the fact that Bill Shankly was a fantastic manager. You can't detract from the fact that Bob Paisley was a fantastic manager. You can't detract from the fact that they've had really, really good managers over the last 30 years because I think it's fair to say they have. They've had a few shockers as well, like every team has, but they've had some really, really top quality managers. I think Houllier was a nice manager, good manager. I'm not so sure he's held in the same regard as Shankly and Paisley, but I do feel that they were superb in their time. I don't think you can argue with that. Having said that, where would you put Klopp in the list of all-time Liverpool managers? That would be the question I would ask you. Where would you put Klopp? Remember, you're younger than me.
yeah, I think he's done really well. I think he's turned Liverpool around. He's made them very competitive. They have won things under him. He's brought in some really good players. They've got their own style of playing. And they've done all right in Europe. Probably, I think they would have hoped to have done better, but they've done okay in Europe. So I think he's going to be up there as one of the top managers for Europe, for Liverpool.
Okay, so I was trying to go through the list that they've had, right? So since I've been alive, Bill Shankly took over in 1959, and I remember him retiring in 74. Even as a Tottenham fan, I remember thinking it was a bit of a shame because I regarded Bill Shankly like I regarded Bill Nicholson at Tottenham, who also retired at a very similar time. They were the two best managers in the country. I don't think most people would disagree at the time. There might have been managers, but they were pretty superb, those two. And Bill Shankly was better than Bill Nick. After Bill Shankly, he passed the reins to Bob Paisley, fantastically successful, continued in the Liverpool style, changed a few things around slowly, yes, but I think he settled in the first year, basically carrying on with what Shankly had done, yeah? So, fair enough. You look at that, Joe Fagan took over from Paisley. Joe Fagan was a boot, I think he used to do the boot room or something originally at Liverpool. So he came through the ranks. He had a successful side, so I think he just bothered keeping it going as it was. But of course, that side aged, and you have to change things around. And he wasn't so successful. And I'm just looking; he was manager for 2 years, yeah. Then they had a few managers. So Dalglish came in next. Ronnie Moran for about 10 minutes. Souness, rubbish. Roy Evans, another manager who was promoted from within. Gerard Houllier, and then Houllier was on his own, and he did a good job for about 5 or 6 years. They won, I think, 3 or 4 trophies in that time in 1 year. He did very well. Rafa Benitez, he was there for 6 or 7 years. He did a good job. Hodgson, useless. Dalglish came back to get him out of trouble, useless. Brendan Rodgers, useless. And Jurgen Klopp. So,
So he's in the
I
top
think
five.
Jurgen Klopp's in the top three.
Oh, top
For
three.
me.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely in top three for me. I think Shankly, Paisley, and Klopp. And then after that, I probably have Benitez and Houllier. So I think he did a wonderful job for Liverpool. But you're asking about a guy that's going to come out of football from Holland. So when you look at the Dutch sort of style of football, it's quite attack minded. Personally, I think that's a good thing. We want to be entertained. Tickets cost a fortune to go to football these days. I don't know what the average price of a ticket is at Anfield, but it must be at least £70 or £80 a game. Must
Mm.
be. Um, I don't know what it is at Arsenal or Chelsea, but I would imagine it's probably £100 a game. The average price at Tottenham, I would think, is probably about £110, £120 a game. And it would be. It's far and away the best stadium in the country. I don't think anybody could disagree with that. And you do get what you pay for. And at the end of the day, if it costs £80 for a game at Old Trafford, look at the state of that place. Man City's ground is okay. I wouldn't say it's great. Last day of the season, there were loads of empty seats.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah, there
imagine?
were.
Can you imagine if that was Arsenal? Arsenal had 60 odd thousand at the game yesterday.
Yeah.
We played Man City on Tuesday. I went to the game on Tuesday. I was in a box to start with, and then I went to watch the game from a different perspective. I went up in the north stand, and I wouldn't say it was jam packed, but there were a few seats available. Not many, but a few.
Mm.
But some people will not go because they just think, oh, it's such. I mean, Tottenham is not the easiest ground to get to. Okay, I have to make that clear. But when you go to a game, and if you're really honest with yourself, you probably don't expect too much from the game. You have
They're not.
less will
Yeah.
to want to go when it's on the TV as well than if it's not on the TV and you go into a game that you think, well, we really should win this. So I kind of get it. Where do you spend your money?
Mm.
You know, if you're a dad with a couple of kids who want to go and watch football,
It's
it
a
is
lot of
really
money.
expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
You know, if you even if you use the sort of ticketing system that you can as a dad with kids, it might cost you £150 to take your kids and go and watch the game. You know, your ticket's probably £90, theirs is £30 each, or maybe
Yeah.
it's 120 quid. There's £90 for you and 15 for the kids. Irrespective, if it's 120 quid and you've got a program, a drink, something to eat, you spent 170, 180 quid.
Easy.
Right. Now, the average person, how much do they earn a day?
Oh my God, I haven't got a clue. Not a lot.
Right. So if the average wage, for example, is 30 grand a year, 2.5 grand a month. So after tax, it's maybe £1,900. Dad's got 2 kids and he's on 30 grand a year. And he goes to the football match every home game with his kids. He's probably spending £4,000 a year going to football
Mm.
out of his net money, yeah, may I point out. So, that's astronomical. He's,
It's
he's,
a
he's
lot.
got
It is a
25%
lot.
of his money tied up in what he's doing for his kids going to football. That's too
Yeah.
much. So, people are in that situation, they can't go. If you said to me, Spurs are in the Champions League final, not next season, the year after. And in the final, we're playing a team that we're really likely to beat. And I'm desperate to go. And you said to me, oh, the game's being played in I'll just pick Frankfurt, for example, right? The game's being played in Frankfurt. I can get you a ticket. It's £1,000. Would you pay it? Yeah, of course I would.
Would you?
Once in a lifetime, £1,000. Okay. Once in a lifetime. Now imagine you're a Man City fan. You've been winning the league for fun. You win most of your games for fun. It gets a little bit boring. You think, well, we're playing Crystal Palace. We're playing whoever.
Burnley.
It's not a
Mm.
big game. Burnley, yeah, Sheffield. We know we're going to win. I'm not interested in going to that game. So they don't bother going. We're playing
Mm.
Arsenal. We're playing Liverpool. We're playing Man United. We're playing Tottenham, Chelsea. The big sides for them. They're going to go. They struggle to beat us nearly every game. I mean, they won this year, but normally they lose at Spurs. But this year they won an FA Cup in the 89th minute and put this game to bed in the 95th minute. So, it's not like
Yeah.
there's a massive gap. And yet there is a massive gap with the managers. There's 9 years difference. So their fans probably don't want to go to a lot of the games because they know the result before they go.
It's true. That's true. Okay, last 8 minutes of the show. Here's a question for you. So, if, or should I say, when Klopp returns to football, where's he going to go?
Mm. Do you
Is he
know
going to
what
come
he
back
is?
to the UK?
No,
I don't think he would.
no. I think that Klopp will take a good year out of his life now to chill out. He's going to be 57 next fortnight. You've got the Euros next month. I should imagine that if the Germans do okay in the Euros, I don't think they can win it, but they do okay. Whoever's in charge, I think it's Hansi Flick, whoever it is, will be probably there for the World Cup in 2 years' time. Klopp doesn't need the money. He's bound to get offers of football-related offers. There's absolutely no doubt about it. He probably won't work again this year, and it may be that we get to next March, April, and the German national team is struggling to qualify for the World Cup, or they're not playing very well, people want the manager out, he would be an instant choice for them.
Okay.
Now, there are managers that I've spoken to over the years that have managed at national level, and one of the things that they can get used to is they get their guys 10 games a year in a busy year, maybe 12, and they get them at a tournament for 3 weeks, and they get them for a couple of weeks twice a year, sort of thing, yeah. And the rest of the time they watch football and they don't have the pressure on them.
Yeah.
So that might be something. He looked totally drained to me in January, February when he said it. I think he's been a revelation for the Premier League. He's very amiable, I think. He's very knowledgeable. He would be, I think, a very good international manager. Do I see him coming back in the Premier League? Can't see where he'd go.
Yeah, me neither.
He can't take over at Man City, being a rival of Liverpool. He won't be at Everton. He can't go to Manchester United. Would he come to Spurs or Arsenal or Chelsea? Can't see it. So there, I can't see him go to Newcastle. I don't think Newcastle's in the same bracket. They might have the wealthiest club in the world, but FFP, they haven't got a pot to pee in. So, you know, they may be in the Europa Conference. I think you get £5 million for winning it.
Which is nothing.
No, it's absolute peanuts.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's really. I think it would hurt Newcastle if they're actually in it, but I think they will be in it because I can't see Man United beating Man City next weekend. Can you?
No. Definitely not the way
So
Man U have been playing.
no, and even though they won at Brighton, I mean, I've got to say, I think that you going back to your Klopp thing. I think he may well end up abroad. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up at Real Madrid. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if he ended up managing Germany. I just don't think you're going to see him managing anywhere before at least March, April of next year.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
No, I agree.
So
I agree.
I think he's earned the right for the time off. You know, Pep's probably very similar. I think he's been in management of or manager of Manchester City for got to be over 9 years. I think so. 2016, he took over as Manchester City manager.
Okay, 8 years.
Yeah, so I'm just going down. I was just trying to find it, but bugger, hit the wrong thing there. I'm just going down the bottom here. It tells me exactly when. I think he was in the summer of 2016. No, he was appointed as manager on the 1st of February 2016.
Okay.
So obviously that was at the time, that season when Leicester won the league, because
Won
Man
the
City,
league.
Man
Yeah.
United and Chelsea were in a complete resurgence. And
Mm.
of course, Leicester didn't play anybody, that no rival. They didn't play hardly any games all season. So, I had this discussion yesterday. Yes, they won the league and they won it with 80 points, but Premier League to win it with 80 points? Jesus. We finished runners up with 86. Arsenal finished
Yeah.
runners up with 86 and 89. So, when they won it, I think it was a pretty shabby
It's a different
year.
league. Absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
Okay. So we
there we
will
are.
thank you for your insight into Klopp. We are going to be missing a show in a fortnight, and that's purely and simply because it's the day before my exam. So I've got to have my head in the books. So the next show we're going to be doing is on the 10th of June. And fingers crossed we'll have a guest on that night.
Yeah, all things being equal.
All things
Hope
being
so.
equal.
Yeah, first
But
of July's the one after. So
yeah, just the one show, unfortunately, in June, because after the 10th, I'll be going on a course for 2 weeks. So the next show after that will
and
be
the rest
beginning
of
of
us are
July.
watching the Euros, so they don't want to listen to us. Yeah.
That's very true. So we will have a lot to talk about on the show in June because the Euros will have started.
No,
But we'll
no, we'll have it
also,
to talk about on the 1st of July. It doesn't start to the 14th of June.
oh, okay, 1st of July. But hopefully, if we have our guest in June, then that will be good.
Yeah, all things being equal, he's happy to do it. He's only got a phone, so it will be funny. But
That's all right.
uh,
We can deal with that.
yeah, well, if he's okay, and I hope he is, then again, a lot of it depends on his issues. So fingers crossed he's okay. But
Yeah,
we will know. Would be nice because he's very funny and he's got a lot of memories, and he's certainly won a few things in his career. So yeah, would be nice.
excellent. Excellent. Well, Steve, that is it. We have come to the end of the show for tonight. Steve, have a great evening.
Well, to anybody who might have watched this, I don't know because we're always on at different times. I'm not trying to be controversial, but if you can see what I've got behind me is a picture with a Spurs shirt and a cockerel. Come on, you Spurs!
Have a good week, everyone.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.